time is precious and we appreciate your attention and your willingness to be in conversation with us. This by now is probably something that is very familiar to everyone in this space. Um, you know, we understand the way in which the mental health of our students has always been a priority in higher education, but we can also acknowledge that there's been an intensification of focus on mental health and well-being, particularly in relationship to what we call student success, or really, frankly, in keeping students enrolled, right? And so this image is taken from the Chronicle of Higher Education, and it just really underscores the acuity of the need that many of you live every day in the work that you do. But I think that part of the thing that makes this different, makes this moment different, is that there is this intensification, not just of the mental health and well-being of students as a good in and of itself, as a priority in and of itself, but now in its connection to enrollment and again, student success. So here's a question. If mental health has been a longstanding priority in higher education, so what? What's changed, right? And why isn't more just sufficient? More service, more access, more availability. Well, we composed this image because we understand the way in which we are all living in a truth, which is that the higher education landscape has really changed profoundly, right? And we see that not just the priority on mental health and well-being has changed. We see that there has been an intensification over the last 5 years. Really, there are a number of changes that are almost like once in a generation shifts that are reshaping higher education. And many of these shifts, like demographics, were years and even decades in the making, while others sharpened during the pandemic. Um, but whatever the causes, we think that this is a unique confluence of factors that we wanted to name because these are reshaping colleges and universities today. Financial resources on campus, decisions students make about enrolling and persisting, and the conditions and the contexts in which we all work. So part of what this is framing is the invitation to understand that more of the same in any domain can't really meet the moment that we are all in. So then the question becomes, well, how do we think about it? What do we do? And what's next to really move to action? Dani?
Thank you. So we feel really strongly at Equiss Accelerator that we need to talk about solutions that work for the students that we are serving now and the conditions that we're facing that Jennifer just outlined. More and more, institutional success is a matter that is increasingly described as meeting students where they are. We want to talk through a model that we believe helps achieve that. So this is the ecological validation model. It is not our work. You'll see our friends at USC's Pullias Center for Higher Education have done some really great work in pulling this model together. And we really believe that, again, it can help us operationalize the work that we need to do to break down silos and support students. So this model describes how students experience our colleges and universities. And one of the reasons that we like it is because it proposes the case for an ecosystem of support and service the way that students might experience. And it provides us with a way to do that that is asset-based. And we're really big about asset-based approaches, making sure that you're tapping into the strengths and assets of your institution already to operationalize the work that we do. As Jennifer said, mental health has always been a priority. It's become even more so because of the changing headwinds in higher education. And so what we're going to continue to talk about is operationalizing the creation of this ecosystem and this model and working across silos in ways that feel sustainable yet impactful on your campus. And one of the things that I want to highlight that's different about this model than traditional models of student success or older models of student success is that it centers the student and their experience, and it requires all of us to break down those silos and be in conversation with each other to make sure that we're meeting students' needs. So the question is, are our current structures and ways of working set up to support the mental health and well-being ecosystem that we hope for? And how would we operationalize the development of that ecosystem in the current structures and conditions? Again, it's not about starting from scratch and completely starting with a blank page. It's about tapping into the assets that we have. And so what's important to acknowledge is that everyone in this picture is active, busy, and we would even say engaged. And is it meeting the needs that our students have? Do our regular ways of working meet the challenges that we're facing right now? And how can we work across silos? So we're going to talk about a scale, and we use the language of awareness to connection to collaboration on this scale.